Hi, I'm Daniel, and today I'm going to be addressing a viewer question about falling to the strong side or the overhand side from the back attacks. So I'll show you, typically we're falling to the underhook side of the back attacks, which is also known as the weak side, because there's so many auxiliary systems from there. So if I have this underhook side, right, and I'm controlling however I'm controlling, and I fall to this side, I have a lot of auxiliary systems from here, okay? So I typically gather this up. This hand better be protecting me from choking him, so I'm going to be pushing down, collecting that, crossing my feet together, and going for my chokes. And then if I don't fall, if I'm unable to get that for some reason, I can always come up and start coming into systems for my triangle armbar systems, spider web, all of that stuff. Okay, so there are many auxiliary systems that I can go to off of the weak side. From the strong side, there are fewer auxiliary systems, but there are some definite advantages to go to the strong side. So, and I'll just refer to this overhand side, my choking hand, as the strong side. So, as I'm here and he decides to fall to the strong side, so I'll mention this as well. As I have this position, I am pushing off on this foot to try to go to the weak side, because I know that most of my auxiliary systems are there to the weak side. So I'm pushing off of this foot hard this way, and as he tries to push back, I'm posted here. So it's very difficult for him to try to come back to any other system, any other side other than this. You see how I'm posted here. Now, of course, in rolling, things don't always work out the way you want them to. So if he really explodes up this way, and I go here to this strong side, I have several options here, okay? So it depends on if he is already escaping or if we're just hanging out here and I want to go to some auxiliary systems because he's controlling my hand with this hand and I'm unable to get this hand across here, okay? So the two grips that I'm going for, if he has not escaped or not put his head or his shoulder to the mat, are the Kimura grip and then the cross wrist grip. So I'll go over the Kimura grip first. So the reason that I use the Kimura grip is, for one, I have 2-on-1 on the hand, and even if he completely and totally escapes the system, okay, and he's trying to come back, or even if he does come back up into me, I'm still in an advantageous position, especially if he ends up coming over into my guard. You see how I'm in an advantageous position here. All I have to do is make a simple adjustment, put my head up, and I'm back on top, okay? So the Kimura grip is definitely kind of a go-to for me, but if I'm really wanting to attack the back effectively, what I want to do is get a cross wrist grip. So this hand is always going to be trying to control my choking hand, right? What I want to do is pass this hand off to this hand and this to here, this hand to this hand. So now I have two cross wrists. From here, this is very difficult for him to move or escape or do anything else. From here, I can go straight into my regular straitjacket by pushing this hand down. Now I'm going to make a little bit of space with my head so that this hand can come, or this foot can come up and scrape off this hand. Now, the reason that most people need this space is I normally say go cheek to cheek and never let your cheek leave his cheek, okay? But most of us are not flexible enough to do this. If you are, great, but some of us need this little bit extra to come up and start scraping. Now you notice that I haven't let go yet. It scrapes away from my hand and then I cover with my other foot. Now, here's another thing. If I try to put this foot on top of this foot, he's going to have all the room in the world to escape. I have to scrape off and then cover with this foot. Now, as I'm covered with this foot, it's very difficult for him to escape. And now I go into all of my chokes from here. Typically, I'm just going to do a one-arm choke, but I can do a lot of chokes from here. Okay? So, this is if he has not escaped yet. Okay? Now, seeing that he does escape. Now, typically, the way that people escape are, they put their head on the ground, they put the shoulder on the ground, and they roll up into me somehow. Okay? So, as this happens, and as I see him escaping, what I want to do first is I have to choose whether I want to go into another system or create a broken record on this system. Okay? So, what I mean by the broken record, it's a broken record of a bad song. It's a bad song because he's starting off in a bad position. He's hoping that things get better, and then it just restarts the song, and restarts the song, and restarts the song. So, as he starts to escape here, I'm going to post my head, and I'm going to get into mount. So I post my head to make my hips light. I shift my hips, and I come up, right? Now I can go into a twisted arm control. I can go into a Kimura grip. I prefer the Kimura grip. Now from here, if I want to go back into the broken record, I'm going to go into S mount, like this. Now I'm going to push off with this foot, and I'm going to fall to my left hip, and then we go straight into the back attack system again. So, we're right back to the weak side, right? Now he's got to fight to get back to the strong side, and we're just going to start this whole process all over again, and he's in submission trouble the whole time, and the pressure is on him the whole time. It's a broken record of a bad song. But if I want to enter auxiliary systems from here, it's typically going to be from mount with an arm extension, with a limb extension. Okay? So, as he starts to escape, he has his head on the ground, he gets his shoulder on the ground. Every time I get up, I'm going to have this shoulder trapped, this arm trapped with limb extension. Okay? So, as I have my seatbelt grip, and as I post my head to make my hips light, and I come up to the top, you see how I have this arm in. Now, I can go into head and arms here, but typically I go from here into a variety of attacks on triangle and on arm locks, okay? So typically I'm gonna go to a twisted arm control if I can get it, or a Kimura grip if I can get it, and then I'm gonna turn to the side to here, and then however I can, if I can get this foot worked up to here, I start into my triangle attacks. If I can't, I may go to the spider web. So I may go from here and then just come to here and then just enter my spider web attack from here, right? But typically, if I'm going to go to auxiliary systems from there, it is going to be with an arm extension with the person mounted. So that's basically how I go. I hope this answers your question. YouTube guy that asked me the question, if they have not escaped yet, I go for Kimura grip or a cross wrist grip. If they escape, then I'm going either back to the broken record, or I'm getting into mount with a limb extension and then attacking from there. So that's all I have for you guys today. Have a good day.
On down, hard work to go, make the call. Hard work.